Now broadcasting on your favorite podcast platform, it's the Maverick Do It Different podcast with your host, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. When you want to step up and dare to be different, when you will dare to be great and live up to your fullest potential, when you are ready to dare to be a maverick and live the life of your dreams, filled with abundance, passion, and joy, then it's time to listen to me, Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and the Maverick Do It Different podcast. Welcome, everyone, to the Maverick Do It Different podcast, and I am so excited to be here. This is where we dare to do it different and introduce you every single podcast to some new ideas, new adventures, new experiences on where and how and what to really make your world a whole different place and to bring it to a different spot for you. And today is no different. I am so pleased to introduce you to one of our favorite authors, part of our, Be a Success Maverick Volume 2, and we continue to build this series. This is one of our authors who just has such great experience and great background. I wanted to make sure that she was on here to share it with you. She got educated on the East Coast and graduate of the MBA program at Rutgers University, which is amazing. 12 years experience now as a full-time realtor and specializing in setting price strategies for home buyers and home sellers, minimizing clients' risk, protecting their earnest money, negotiating repairs during home inspection period, and researching rental restrictions for investors. Really all aspects of the real estate game as a realtor to really support you. Prior to her real estate, and I want you to get this, she was 8 years in corporate America, started off as an engineering consultant in New York City, moved into the financial consulting world, and also her last job was vice president at Citibank, managing over 80 employees, 4 managers and 2 employee shifts. Really a renaissance woman if you understand all aspects of understanding how to really conduct herself in business and the world. Now also during her off time, supporting local animal rescue organizations by fostering abandoned and homeless cats. Since 2009, she's fostered and adopted over 150 cats. God bless her. She's an active member of the Pro Toastmasters Club for the last 3 years, 5 years involved in BNI, Business Network International. With all of this experience, all of this matrix of possibilities to pull from, please welcome Carrie Liu. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Paul, for having me. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
I've got to add, with all your experience, with all that you've really, it's obvious journey. When did it shift? When did it change? Like some people have those moments where they go, okay, I know now I'm going to be a success. When was that for you? What was the catalyst, if you will? Do you know?
For me, Paul, I think it's when I noticed that internally I was not very happy. I feel, especially at my last corporate job at Citibank, I just knew that no matter how hard I worked, I was not getting the results that I wanted. And that's because it was not within my control. It's somebody else's controlling my outcome, my raises, and my bonuses. And I realized I am not happy and I'm not willing to trade a paycheck for my happiness. So that's when I realized I have to change.
Yeah, it compelled you to change. So you realized you were unhappy, and then what happened next? Did you just go, "Oh, I'm done. Let me go quit my job and go see how to make this happen on my own"?
I was actually very open. I communicated very openly with my colleagues and my boss. I think looking back, my mistake was I was being too honest because I was sharing my adventures outside of the work environment. I was sharing that I was taking real estate classes. I want to learn something new because I had stopped learning in my work environment. And that actually was held against me during review time. And
Really?
that made me mad. Like when I get mad and angry, that's when I start to make changes and make different decisions.
So
And
so you were sharing that you were studying and really looking at investment and looking at real estate, and what was the reaction that when you say it was held against you? What was going on?
The response I received from my direct boss was that I should not be taking any classes outside of what I'm doing in this industry, and if I'm going to even stay long term with this company. So that was questioned immediately when I shared that. And I thought I was being honest, that I wanted to tell people exactly what I'm doing, and I don't think that there's anything to hide.
Right.
And I got burned, and that's when I realized this is not the right place.
So what would you tell people in retrospect now, as you've gone through this? What would you tell someone who is now, they're unhappy, they're in a corporate world, they're unhappy with what's going on? What would you tell them to do?
I would go with what I feel internally is what makes me happy. At the same time, be careful. I know, Paul, you share that a lot with us students that are studying to become better us, is be careful who we share our dreams and successes with. And I would not share anything, that's really relevant in my world with people at work if they don't believe the same thing, if they don't believe pursuing your dreams.
I believe in trusting until proven otherwise. And in so much of the corporate world, so many of them have proven that they're not of the same mindset. And so those are the people I wouldn't lie. And I never recommend lying, but I would absolutely say, share, be careful of what you're sharing, especially when they're going to hold it against you. And so recognize that it's not about hiding it, but it's definitely about they're not going to support your dreams, which is what you experienced. Yeah.
I didn't.
So,
yeah.
So with that, that being said, it didn't hold you back that much. They helped you really gravitate to where your dream ended up being. In the journey, did you have any role models? Anybody that you want to speak about?
Absolutely, Paul. My parents are my role models. I watch them work hard, and they're unrelenting in working hard, achieving the dream that they have for our family, which was buying their very first home. And they bought their first home with $36,000 annual income between the two of them. They pay cash, and it wasn't all 100% their money. They did borrow a portion of that money from the relatives, but I knew that their first priority and foremost is to have integrity, which they promised they would return that money back to the relatives, and they did honor that. Within the first, I believe it was 3 to 5 years, they did pay everyone back. Wow. So that's really important, is honesty and integrity.
So work ethic, honesty and integrity, and really having a vision and jumping in, staying the course. All of that you learn from your parents, which is something that is so valuable. And I think something that people miss. Not only they may or may not have it in their life, but they also miss being grateful about it when it does show up. And it's really neat that you've taken notice and honored them in that way. Really neat.
I truly believe that, yeah, they're my role models, and I do everything because of who they are. And I want to be like them as well.
If you had to pinpoint like what makes you different, and I interview a ton of successful people, and as they've gone through the success journey, it doesn't seem that difficult when you're going through it. And so then you have to realize that there is a difference between who you are and who the next person is. How come you were able to make, with all the circumstances and all the situations, you were able to create the success, whereas others were challenged outside of your parents? And the parents are an obvious difference. Anything else that you would pinpoint that said, That's what makes me different.
I would say, Paul, is that I care a lot, maybe at times I care a little bit too much about my work. I love what I do and I love my career. And I want to make sure that the people that I'm serving are getting the end results. And that's what really matters to me first, is that they get to have what they wanted before becoming a commission or a check or money in my pocket. So that's the most important.
There's definitely a component of that work ethic that you learn from your parents and the heart and soul. You know, work to care for others, do it with a passion, and the money will show up. It's usually not the other way around. That's why we talk about being passionate about what you do, because then it's not work and you're willing to do it day and night and have really strong work ethic with it, because you do care, you do have that passion, and then the checks just show up no matter what. Is that what you're finding?
That's right. And I learned a lot from you, Coach, too, Paul, that you talk about caring for people and making sure, and you talk to everybody like they matter. That's what one thing I noticed about who you are as an individual. Yeah,
we learn in the journey along the way. If you didn't start off this way, you usually learn it pretty fast. And that is that everybody is the same. We are all humans. And no matter what our bank account says or our status, or all that is just a facade. And it boils down to just people to people, humans to humans. And that's where how it all gets created, and how abundance and real success in people's worlds really happen is what I find. And you've been a great example of that, is that you just keep doing and caring and putting out there and your heart and soul. And even though you talk about, you shared a little too much with corporate, or you made these missteps over the years, it's all turned out great. And so you can't, there's not that complaining. It's, oh my God, excitement for the next step. With all this, I want to touch on one thing. You did write a great chapter in the book. Could you highlight for everyone, when they get the book and they read the chapter, what would be a takeaway that you'd want them to get from the book and from the chapter?
Well, Paul, I would say that it's not very hard to write a book when you're a partner with the right people. And I was very fortunate to have met you at the Palms Casino here in Las Vegas.
Oh my God.
And my friend, introduced me. My friend introduced me to come, and I supporting her. I ended up joining your boot camp. That's what it's called back then. Yeah. And people think that it's really hard to become an author if you want to write the book yourself. But if you want to be a chapter in your book, it makes it so much easier. Just partner with the right people. So that's my takeaway, my lesson.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, definitely partner up with the right people. And when people partner up with you, it obviously works. We have a fun lightning round I want to bring people to, and a lightning round to get to know you a little bit better.
Cool.
And we have people listening from all around the world. Recognize that United States is where we're positioned. You're in Vegas, and really actively involved in the real estate market in Vegas, in Las Vegas, Nevada. However, we've got listeners all around the world. What book, if there was one book that you would recommend for our listeners, what book would you have them grab hold of? Oh,
most definitely Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Hear, hear.
It talks about having faith. Yes.
Big aspect, having faith in your future and believing in your future. Yeah. Favorite movie?
The Ron Clark story, about a teacher that changed the Harlem school, and he took care in every student, visited every student and went to their homes. And I realized how important it is to have somebody who's a role model in our lives.
I love that story. I just recently got introduced to that story and that movie and love it. And there are just huge lessons in that movie as far as how to really do. And it goes back to what we were talking about before, that passion for what you're doing, and that passion transcends the paycheck. And his passion was to care for his students, regardless of what it would take. And because of that, he's highlighted, recognized, and a leader in his community and in his profession. If he had been like most teachers, and did what good job, we never would know his name.
Right.
And it's so fascinating to watch. His work ethic and his passion for it just made everybody greater, including us, in talking about this today. Really neat movie. Your favorite singer or band?
Well, Paul, since I'm from New Jersey, of course it's Bon Jovi.
Oh my God. What is it? Just because you're from New Jersey and I'm from the Northeast as well, does not mean it's Bon Jovi. There are many, many, many famous people from that corner of the world, including specifically New Jersey, that I could think of from the same period of time. However, we'll go with Bon Jovi. Great choice. Yes. And I've my wife would agree with you. Absolutely. So nice. With everybody that's listening in, like I said, from all over the world, final words of wisdom to share with the listeners?
Paul, I always say is to find the next dream. Now that I have accomplished what I wanted to do, pick the next big goal. Always have another goal, another dream in front of us so that we can reach our full potential. Because you're showing us that. How do we reach our full potential? It's always a progressive work.
So what's your next dream?
My next dream is to quadruple my income. So last year I closed 7.2 million in real estate. And I got to reach that goal in order to help more people, make more money, and help more people.
So this year, your goal is what?
My goal is 26 million in sales volume.
So for everyone who's out there, this is your chance to support a dream and a goal. She put it out there. She shared. How many people actually share their vision and their goals with you? It is so rare these days. People are so quiet, so held, they keep their cards close to their vest, if you will, that here you have someone who's sharing with you, this is my goal. And if you've heard anything during this interview, you've heard her commitment, her passion, her heart, that she will absolutely do whatever it takes to create that for herself and for you. You're a buyer, you're a seller, you're in the Las Vegas market, or you want someone to lean on for reference that really knows her stuff. Carrie Lou is the person to speak to. All her information is right here. Go ahead, take a look. The link to grab hold and contact her is here as well. So absolutely reach out. You will want to talk to her over and over and over again and lean on her for just her courage, her passion, her love, her heart, and her knowledge. Carrie Lou, absolute pleasure. It's such a great, and absolutely pick up your copy of Be a Success Maverick. It is everywhere, including on the Be a Success Maverick page. So go there and take a look, and would love for you to participate and hang out in the Maverick community and be a part of both of our worlds. It's an absolute pleasure, Carrie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
We will talk again real soon. For all of you, this is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. This is the Maverick Do It Different podcast, where we do it different, and so should you. Until next time, everyone. Thanks for listening to Paul Finck. That's me, the Maverick Millionaire, and the Maverick Do It Different podcast. You can listen to us anytime, 24/7 on your podcast listening platform of choice. Introduce us to your friends, give us 5-star rating, and subscribe, and share us across all your social media platforms to anyone that could really utilize this message right now. Till next time, everyone.